I have a sad but lovely story, a bit nostalgic, about my darling husband Noel, who unfortunately passed away just after his 57th birthday. But not to think of the bad and sad, let's think of the good things. So, as you know already, Noel and I met in 1954, just 1 month after I'd left school doing my leaving. And he was born in 1935, so he was about 18 months older than me. And he was the third child in the family, Dermot being the eldest and Imelda the second. And they were a year apart in age, and Imelda was 5 years older than Noel. So he came, like in our family, a nice little surprise after a few years, as we had with Emma Jane and Amanda. But having said that, he was very, very different as he grew up in a lot of ways to his brother and sister, who were very, very similar. They were slight of build and had different passions and interests, and he was, a big rugby player and full of fun and personality. Now, not saying the other two weren't, but he was outstandingly so, and it manifested itself very early after I met him. So anyway, we met, as you heard, in Sandycove Tennis Club, and we had a week of dating every day and falling more and more madly in love every day, and we were only kids. So after a week, his birthday was coming up, so he organised his mother to do a lovely high tea, and he invited 2 other girls and 2 other guys and to the house in Booterstown. So the mother put on a gorgeous spread, and it was really kind of funny because she kept coming in and looking to see which is the one. He's obviously now met somebody. And anyway, she was spoiled that shock. She was not spoiled, she was done without meeting who it was on the first visit anyway. I didn't declare my intentions. So anyway, we wasn't very long, as you know, before he wanted to settle down with me for the rest of his life. That was October, Halloween, and we only met in July. And I said, well, that'd be lovely. I presume we have to wait a bit so we did. So anyway, it took us till 1960, where we were presented with a very lavish wedding by my mother and father, and with over 120 people. Me being the first in the family of the MacDonald clan to get married, everything had to be done right. But I have to say, I had a magnificent dress. I picked the lace myself. It was made in Calais, and it was Cornelli embroidered with mother of pearl embroidery, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful wedding dress. And the Royal Marine put on a great spread, and it was kind of funny in lots of ways because there was such a mixture of people there, but they all seemed to get on grand. And Noel's parents were very strict teetotal, and strangely enough, because the father actually had a job with Paris Whisky all his life, and 50 years he worked there. But anyway, that seemed to be a very big point. So Noel had to be very careful not to misbehave in front of them and have champagne or anything like that. So anyway, despite all that, everything went well, and we went off on our honeymoon to Paris, and his dad, before we left, slipped him a few notes and said, have dinner out in Paris and me tonight, which I thought was just lovely. It was typically kind, as he was that kind of a man. He was lovely, very generous and very caring and very non-confrontational.